Good. So, sorry I had to do a little bit of prep before we started. Now, Sorter has been very busy little boy.
Yeah,
Sorter's his life. It feels like January went by very quickly.
yeah, very, very quickly.
What's sad about the whole see, I was going to talk about the Somali fraud, then all of the today will be an interesting. I warn it will be very spicy for people and content advisory warning because Minnesota has turned into a shit show.
Which, to be fair, kind of always was, but
It's
it
gotten
just blew over.
it's gotten worse.
Yeah, it was like it reached the tipping point. So,
Oh. Well,
yeah,
technically it's always been tipping over. So I think the problem itself with Minnesota, it's going to be a conversation. I had some lawyer I was going to talk. Well, he's a lawyer actually, but he's a defense. But he has family life and he lives moved. So let's begin with the timeline. We know. So what's funny is Nick Shirley basically at the end of December published his documentary on the Somali fraud, unironically. Of course, the middle
yeah,
of this month, that testimony is actually interesting, but it's not. And then you had the Minnesota was the next stop for some reason for the ice raids. Now, if anyone who is not familiar in the United States with the cluster ref, which is the ice raids going from city to city, we have long suspected it's organized. Now, we have the problem of, I'm sure Sorter doesn't get it as much as us Americans. ICE is only a criminal or investigation thing that detains them. How are you, Smug? If you want to come on, you can come on if you want. Or that's Smug. So we had the lovely thing. Now it seems that the protesters are getting more violent.
a bit
You know what's funny? During the Nick Shirley thing,
more
I
violent and more suicidal.
I actually did not realize during the Nick Shirley documentary, I was watching it with a friend the other day to show him. And
Hmm.
apparently, one of the weird ICE protesters, this old lady said, tried to call Nick Shirley ICE in December or whenever he
Yeah,
filmed it.
I remember that.
So they've been following people and terrorizing people. See, the funny
Well,
thing,
Ice has become the boogeyman for the left now.
actually, no, let's get this out of the way. My theory on what's happened with ICE is basically this. If you've been alive long enough in the 90s to remember what happened with Waco, Ruby Ridge, how the DEA and the ATF became very over militarized and kind of undertrained, but the issue itself is ICE. You know what's funny? After they cleaned up New York, it actually caused crime to go down. Same in Portland. But
Yeah.
the cities themselves, sanctuary cities, are allowed in the United States. This is why I said this a little bit spicy, but where YouTube gets the whole thing. I mean, yes, there's the whole aspect. A lot of people don't want to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole because some people either can't, because we're going to go over the Renee Good thing eventually and the Alex Purdy. The Alex Purdy thing is really, there's a whole situation to that. I have theories on that myself. But so the funny thing in the Shirley video, the Nick Shirley, there was that weird woman accusing him of being an ICE agent. That's a tactic they were doing. Pardon the phrase, the whistles. There's actually an
Yeah.
appropriate term for those whistles, the blowing the whistles.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say that word. You know it. You know what it is and why the left blows whistles.
Yep.
See, I love this is how an evolution of the movement. I really do. It's cursed. Let's just put it away. The blowing the whistle thing originated from if you see danger or you see someone about to be assaulted of the female origin, that's when you're supposed to blow a whistle. That's the origin of it. If I'm being vague about for that. You know, you know.
Yeah.
It's sad I know. Is it worse that I know the origins of these? Or I'm just traumatized by it?
I don't know if it's sad, but it is.
That's the thing in coverage of it. They don't realize why the left was blowing whistles. It originally started as if you see any form of violence, especially against women, you're supposed to do it in public. Okay? Yes. That's what it's for. They just turned it into mascots. Portland became famous for the mascots and the people in the suits. Apparently, that was only a section of Portland, but Minnesota is a special case. Because here's the funny thing about Minnesota. Minnesota can't catch a break. Because, Sorter, what do you know in Minnesota?
Not much. I mean, I know what I know from like either people that I've watched that live there,
Mm-hmm.
or that have gone there.
See,
and it's not much.
So Minnesota was also the place where George Floyd happened.
Yep.
A bunch of other things. It's not a region that's been very peaceful for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And they also
You
have a
could say
large.
that.
They also have a large Somali population that we knew already about fraud, because apparently what kicked off right before the ICE raids were about to happen, all the ICE thing, next stop, just happened to be they were investigating the Somali fraud. Because the funny case of this was there was a bunch of Somali people claiming all their children had autism. It went from like 100,000 all the way up to like 300,000. This is on top of the medical service taxi fraud that apparently that they have. I haven't seen anyone mentioned. Oh God, there's enough. And you know my greatest part about it I see about Minnesota, it's all the people. They're like, but Trump's corrupt. Now let's start off in one spot first before you go whataboutisms, please. It's hard enough. And
Yeah.
the thing
And
about
it's like you can, say what a lot of stuff about Trump, but the fact that a lot of these places are also shitholes that are getting worse by the day is not related to Trump.
no.
They're just shitholes.
Yes, they're just bad.
And have been shitholes before Trump took office the first time.
I mean, the thing about the Somali fraud stuff started off with the taxi services. There
Yeah,
literally is. I mean, to be honest, that's why I start here, because a lot of people started looking. The greatest part about the Somali fraud case, unironically, it's not that they're illegals. Most of them are second generation. But the crazier part about it is there was a report late last year. We were basically, Al Shabaab was basically getting not only recruits from the area, they were also getting money. That's because they have the child care thing. So if you're not aware in the US, there's a lot of safety nets in certain areas. So like if you claim your child's autistic, yeah. Though there's a lot of
yeah. I
it
mean,
started it's very
they a lot of. I know they do that in Britain too. I don't know if it's to the same extent.
yeah, by the way, Nick Shirley was headed to California to start investigations there.
Nick
Yeah.
Shelley. Okay, I'm gonna say this thing.
Yes.
Nick Shelley's a little bit of a retard. He could have handled a lot of stuff a lot better. I'm not sure if
Um,
he's the right person to do
I don't
that
know if
research.
he's the cause. I mean, we can't always get Mr. Beast. I would say stick upper echelon on the case, but
Yeah,
upper echelon is developing the case of Elon Musk bad and Trump derangement syndrome is consuming his very soul.
I haven't watched him in a while.
Oh no, he's slid down. Oh yes, the greatest part about over Minnesota. I swear to God, I should play the video of if you have the unfortunate pleasure of knowing who Legal Eagle is.
Yeah.
Legal Devin's video on the Purdy shooting. God.
Yeah.
I may play that, but dear, this is all Minnesota's been. The funny part about Legal Eagle, do you know no one talks about his principal office is near DC and he tried to get to be in the DNC at one point? That would probably explain his Trump derangement syndrome. And he's also filed injunctions against the Trump administration.
Yeah. I also remember him like being very TDS even before 2020.
Oh yeah, going back to 16 is just 2020's worse. But
Yeah.
because after 2020 he got a lot worse. So yeah, in Minnesota, you also had when the ice raids basically started going up to Minnesota, they were coming in to get up there now. Now the shooting of Renee Good. Recently, by the way, there's recent developments, by the way, of Renee Good and Alex Purdy. They are both part of an organization up there that basically is they call it Turtle Island. Glenn Beck calls them Turtle Island, but they're unique. But they were part of a radical group because there's these groups that follow ICE around. And a mutual friend of the past, or frenemy, that I vanquished, Dane has been promoting a website, Report ICE in Your Area. By the way, Dane's gotten entirely more sane, by the way, through this.
More
By the,
sane?
wow, that's exaggeration. No,
Okay.
Dane went more far left.
Oh, okay.
Actual fandom for people who don't know. He's literally promoting a website to dox ICE in your area so they get harassed. Because here's the funny thing if you ask people about criminal migrants. After they went into New York and Portland, the area was safer, weirdly enough.
Yeah, very weird.
They don't report that, by the way, but you know, God bless our media. But this thing in Wisconsin, right? Because the Renee Good thing, I think, was the really big dam that broke. I mean, I'm going to say something very off the cuff, and people, please don't judge me. I'm just very scarred by coverage of looking at leftoids and leftists operate for years. And usually, when I say blue hair theory and blue hair and nose rings check out, there's a reason I say that because generalities fit a rule. Like when I saw the Renee Good video,
It's just there's a reason that it's that generalization exists.
I really hate that I was correct about the Renee Good video, the Renee Good incident. I hate it that I was right. I said the cranky, angry woman who looked like a man was the wife. I said it's crazy, crazy lesbian energy from both of them. But in fact, it actually got better. I love the narratives about the Renee Good thing that got busted that no one wants to correct. She said that she was just dropping off her children off at a thing. Okay, so fun fact on the street where this occurred, it was about 2 or 3 blocks from Bruce Richards' house. He's a law tuber who took over another channel of a major lawyer that died. And he described the incident that he was pretty fair about it. She tried to take off, but this is a domestic street, basically with a bunch of duplex houses or like multifamily houses. That's what they're
Yeah.
designed as. And the story they tried to run. Well, no, she was supposed to be an initial story. They said she was dropping off her children to be at a thing. But the funny thing is, the first thing when I saw that video, because I'm familiar with a lot of this stuff by now by ICE, come to find out where we realize they're using Signal, but more on that later. How did she know the street to block off? No one asked that question. Even Nick Rekieta didn't even ask that question.
I mean, Rikita is, well,
See, okay, Rekieta actually cleaned himself up, but he did it from a criminal because we've seen a lot of documentation. So everyone, I even saw, was it Robert Reich, he's an interesting progressive guy on theory, but as far as politics go, TDS has killed anything valid opinions in reality. But here's the thing about it. She had the street like blocked off, supposedly. Everyone was saying she was dropping off the kids as a thing. But this is on a street. Now, the problem is, if you saw the video and then the officer, now we can't confirm if the officer had internal bleeding. That hasn't really been confirmed, but she tried to run the officer over. Now, when you see it from multiple angles, now if you go off Legal Eagle called it a straight up illegal shooting. But he was so wrong, even Rekieta and LawTube basically made him look like a tard.
Legal Eagle does that on his own, to be fair.
Well, to be fair, if you're going to be twisting it, him and his entire cohorts have been. Look, the dude tried to become part of the DNC years ago. The thing about it is if you look at the shooting, now it's kind of amazing because she screwed up. She tried to do the turn. At worst, she was trying to do a traffic fleeing to get them to chase up a domestic street into traffic, which was a felony unto itself, by the way. But she accidentally tried to run over the other. But, the greatest part at the scene, by the way, did you know that the angry butch wife admitted they were paid protesters?
Yep.
Everyone online missed they admitted that, by the way. But the shooting itself, but the guy's a trained pistol marksman compared to other ICE officers. The problem himself is he narrowly missed getting hit, and he'd already been hit and run over prior. Somewhere, and I think I'll have to dig up a story. Vehicular assaults and physical assaults on ICE officers as of last year were up 3,000%.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is surprised with that.
It's like assaults were up nearly 2,000%. And this came from basically our own Homeland Security Department. I can find that because I was going to have a person go over that. But yeah, it's been a trick, my friend. Well, see, there's a lot of people who have talked about should we invoke basically the Insurrection Act, but no.
Yeah, that's
Hello. Well, see, if she was gonna play chicken, let me show this first. This is that I still have it saved. Really? You don't want to show it? Hold on. I love sometimes StreamYards as its own. But yes, from January 8th, apparently, this was prior to it all. I'm not saying it's odd, but let's see. This story by itself is that. Let's blow it up over here. So here. This was from January 8th. So I'm not talking out of my ass. And they lowballed these numbers. Welcome to the U.S., folks.
Yeah.
I've had this prediction that we're going to play out the end of the 60s. See,
yeah, it is very likely at this point.
Everyone forgets the lower end of the 60s after the Summer of Love. You're talking, that's a whole entire increase. Yeah. So the Rene Good thing, he was afraid he was going to get hit. I've heard people say, what's funny is I saw the armchair people. They didn't think he hit her. Well, she was going to run him over, sorry, basically. If he had not moved at the last minute, he would have taken the full force of the car.
Yeah, she was definitely heading his way.
So, can I give you a lesson from why these activists are dumb? So these activists, these modern day activists, it's not the right that they don't have the right to protest. You have the right to protest.
You don't really have the right to interfere.
Don't block traffic. Don't interfere with investigations.
And don't antagonize officers.
And I mean, again, the Alex Purdy thing is the perfect storm, by the way. But see, the Renee Good thing is he was actually a really good shot. So one went through the window and he put the other two in the side of the car. Now, you can arguably say the reason why he didn't render aid was because they checked her pulse and she was already gone. Now, I can't play that video for obvious reasons. Thank you, YouTube. Ad nauseam.
Yeah, that that'd probably be a bad idea.
But the thing about this is the Renee, that was actually a legal shooting because he was about to be run over. Now, the reports afterwards were he was. Now, after this shooting, we have the story of the mayor who said ICE needs to get out. Which I probably kept some of that video up. I had it for a while. I wouldn't be surprised. This is what happens when you keep stuff for like a month. Right?
Yep.
Media files. What is it? I had a very, very, very busy month, so to speak. I might actually have that, but the Minneapolis mayor was like, we need them out of our city. Now, here's the problem. Federal can trump state. Again, I'm very familiar with my favorite part about this is I am very familiar with I saved this clip because it is funny. Because Sorter, don't laugh too hard. You probably know this one.
Christine and Laura, what you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. A second night since Jacob Blake was seen shot in the back 7 times by a police officer. And what you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast.
People, you know where this is from.
Over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement. It wasn't until nightfall that things began to get a little bit more contentious. Things were thrown back and forth. Police started using some of those crowd dispersal tactics like tear gas, even playing very loud sounds to push them out. And then what you are seeing, the common theme that ties all of this together, is an expression of anger and frustration over what people feel like has become an all too familiar story playing out in places from across the country, not just here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Christine, Laura.
All right, thank you so much for that. New overnight.
And that spread even to Britain for some reason.
By the way, that is the famous fiery but peaceful clip from CNN.
Yep.
For the reference, Sorter and I know that. It got obliterated. They tried to call the people in Kiev fiery and peaceful. Fiery, but not fiery and peaceful with all the destruction.
I mean, why don't you like sometimes light stuff on fire peacefully? It happened,
But I probably have all the stories saved. I just gotta find tabs. Okay, I probably thought. But the greatest part about this was the mayor of, or the official in the city, basically said they want ICE out. Then he had to double down like 3 days later, said people need to stop listening to agitators.
Yeah.
Could we have scripted this any better?
Honestly,
No.
it'd be difficult.
So, for the reference, basically the mayor of the city or city official basically wanted ICE out and said they just need to leave. The police person basically said it was a legal shooting. So I actually save all these tabs, and I was like, if I'm never going to use them, I need to keep them. And it's been pretty. Because, see, I was going to drag you, Sorter, at some point. We may have to go over the Davos stuff.
Yes, where Trump said that he's joining NWO Wolfpack.
Actually,
I did not expect that. I'm joking. It's a wrestling reference.
The funny part about the other, we also, during this month, we also had what was basically Iran. So, yes, so our news has been.
I mean, Iran hasn't led to anything yet.
No.
But, there's the yet part, which it might.
I mean, I had to clean
It
up.
might.
I'll find the stories. But, yes, basically the Minneapolis person was. He basically tried to. I could probably show this. I mean, not the video. Sadly, I saw a lot of after the Renee Good thing. A lot of them said she was just a peaceful mother to drop off her child.
Yeah.
Who happened? You know what we found out about her? Her ex-husband died. She had lost custody of her kids because the partner had put cigarettes out on them. I wish I was making this up. She was a stellar individual.
I mean, look.
Her ex-husband,
when someone looks like that,
her ex-husband killed himself. She had custody of the kids because she turned gay, became a lesbian, and then that partner who was at the same scene, who also said "Drive, baby, drive," for the record.
Yep.
Also was using her children as an ashtray. Yeah. They did a report on that, by the way.
Yeah.
There's so much. See, I don't think I got rid of the article, but I also think I saved the video somewhere because I was starting to edit videos this month. But I'll find the article. But yes, but when you have city officials, basically, these agitators have been going around from city to city causing issues. Now, and the thing is, the funny part about this is, let me see. Yeah, the actual video, the problem is so much. He was like, now amongst this stuff is, it's kind of lost. It got lost in the shuffle because all of this got worse, apparently. There it is. This might not be the other. Here. Yes. Do you know what we call this? Obstruction of federal procedure.
Yeah. A lot of that going on.
So, for the record, the people going in were their actual ICE, but this was his thing. The video's him basically being at the cops said it was lawful because the cops had been told not to work with him. I'm not making this up. Welcome to the U.S. We have about 10 states in rebellion, so to speak. At least 10 states. Sadly, California is pretty much all of it. You had New York that resisted. You had a bunch of cities. When they went through Chicago, by the way, they were told by the mayor to the cops. So there's reports as well. After this, the protesters in Minnesota were attacking a hotel where they were staying, and cops are driving away. They're not interfering or helping. Because ICE is not made for crowd control.
Yep.
ICE, their whole job is immigration. Like, they're like basically investigation, and they take the criminals.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a crowd control. And the funniest part about these people is, I'll have to find videos of this, but they have these people. You know, like when normal people are out of town workers, they look out of town. There was like a video, they think these people are ICE. And then they confront them like they're ICE. And then they follow them.
Which, by the way, is it's demented.
Yeah, I want to see how, when Dev, when he talked about both the Purdy thing and the other. The funny part is, us in Arch's audience, we got told Do you want to know what the exact reaction on the Archcast when we heard someone came into the chat and said Dev released a Renee Good video?
What?
Arch immediately said disavow. And we already know. He said downvote it with great passion and vigor. Because we already know what he's going to say. And everyone in chat goes, yes, we do. This has been a fun month. Last month.
Yeah, bit stormy.
So you have the aftermath. It's a lawful shooting. It got deemed a lawful shooting, basically. They're stalking people they think they're harassing people they think are ICE agents. Yeah, they're telling people to do it. Now, we also had the weird story, too, that I'll just show this website as well. If you never believe me, I don't endorse this site. Dane had this website up, and here you are. I want you to understand. This is normal behavior, folks.
Yep. I mean, who wouldn't be mad if people are trying to kick people that have entered illegally into your country?
And do you know what's funny? Half these people are getting this wrong.
What do you mean?
So when we get into the signal thing, right? These are like ICE agents, and you're telling me this isn't posing a risk to anybody?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, the only reason I know about this website is because of Dane.
I had heard of it from Twitter.
From Twitter?
Yep. I had seen some people posting about that, the leftists had created this site, basically.
They were attacked. They destroyed and attacked a hotel in Wake.
As you do.
By the way, this is where I should have saved the article, because these articles were this makes me look. I can't make this up, right? I'm not trying to be mean here. The people never believe me if I say we have these people here in the U.S. Here you go.
Love to sing. Oh, she was so. Do you know what this reminds me of?
What? What does this remind you of?
Oh God, what was his name? There was like
Well, this is like what? This is not St. George Floyd, by the way.
Do you remember that kid, that black kid that I think stabbed someone? No, not Trayvon Martin. It was in the UK. I think stabbed someone or killed someone.
No, you're talking about the weird one that the Adolescence was based upon, right?
Yes. Where the media showed a picture of him in school and said, "Oh, he likes Doctor Who. He's just a normal kid." And then you see his mugshot, and he looks like he wants to kill people. Yeah. It's almost like they intentionally misrepresent facts
Well,
to
you
fit
know
the
how
narrative.
many people, they basically we found out. Actually, I heard an alternative take. Basically, her husband. Well, she was living in Canada prior to. She had just moved. And as I said, her partner or wife was using her children as an ashtray. That's partly why.
Yep.
Because of cigarette burns. You know where that came out? I think some Kiwi farmers. Here you are. So I'm not talking out of my ass. Yep. See, Sorter, how does it feel to be vindicated? You know. Yeah, someone literally did that, by the way. Can you steel man this?
It'd be very hard.
No, the problem is, as I said, I don't defame the dead. She didn't deserve to be shot, okay? Just understand who your champion is.
Yep. I mean, and also, don't be dumb. Like, don't go up to police officers or ICE officers and just like.
You know what largely ICE has been doing? They just detain the people and let them go because they went into another guy's house. They went to this. They went to the serve a warrant in Minneapolis, and they were trying to get two PDF files off. There was a house being supposedly an address to two child predators. There happened to be an old guy there. They did bring the old guy out. The old guy said, "You can't come in." They had a search warrant. So they went in, dragged him out the house in his underwear, searched the house, then let him go. They tried to portray that story as ICE broke into the house. They went to that house looking for two residents that is listed as their house, which are child predators wanted for assault on a child of a sexual nature.
Yeah.
Then tried to say they victimized an old man, but they detained the old man, then let him go. They charge them with destruction. They could have. So the Renee Good thing is what really kicked off a lot of the protests and then a lot of the violent protests. Meanwhile, Tim Walz is sitting on his ass the whole way, blaming Trump half the month. And they were also preparing court cases as well. There was one court case that actually went through that said that the federal, you can't deploy the troops as much. It was a use of force on nonviolent. So Trump delayed sending National Guard to several cities to secure for ICE. So it limited their authority. But it was a federal judge that did it. It only blocked partially, but it didn't say they didn't have jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction.
But they said you can't bring in and just deploy National Guard without reason.
Yep.
It's mean. But what's funny is Tim Walz was also playing the game of I'm not going to deploy my National Guard, basically. Meanwhile, he let the protesters attack things. And by the way, the reason why she has the state probation thing, because she lost custody of her child because of the custody case. Now, it brings into the middle of the month. I mean, this crap erupted over, a week? Would you say, sort of? It wasn't even 7 days.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It could have been a bit longer, but it felt like it wasn't long.
No, and the problem is all these paid protesters go to these cities and they agitate. Then they bring out the good ones. They've been stalking vehicles. And it's really hard to find these particular. There's a story from the BBC. U.S. Department investigates. And the funny thing on the 16th, the FBI came to talk to Tim Walz and people in his office to basically, the FBI started looking into him for obstructing justice.
Mm-hmm.
They talked to Frey, they talked to Walz. I mean, you do have legal precedent, by the way. So if a state wants to block ICE, there's courts. That's what the courts are for. So it's kind of like we have these people who, look, you want ICE out of your city, just stay out of their way. This would have been over a month ago.
Yep.
This is just the middle of the month. We're not even towards the end. This isn't even covering all the damn protests.
The thing is, a lot of these people cannot resist the idea of being like a communist revolutionary. And they go out and do stuff like that, and you know.
The thing is, this happened as well as they're trying to investigate. They're trying to, because as I said, they have been following people they think are ICE. See, this is the funny thing. This is when we started to suspect they were using the signal. The first thing I saw when I saw the video for Renee Good, immediately the day it happened, I said, how did she know the street to block off?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I mean,
I'm actually
she
very
obviously was
sorry.
communicating with other people.
Yes. See, here's the thing. This is how badly I've been covering I know, well, Sorter comes from my side of the internet, too. How much did we already predict a lot of what was going on, Sorter, before it happens?
Yep.
I'm not saying...
Oh,
the worst part about being a member of Arch's and Sargon's audience in V's is we usually say, I told you so, down the line. We are the canaries in the coal mine. Not always the case, but we're also so black-pilled at times. I'm not so black-pilled against leftists. I'm just getting tired of the fringes of the party. Because I've kind of said if we weren't going to have violence in Minnesota, we're going to have it in the next stop.
to be honest, Minnesota was like probably where it would happen, considering other stuff had started from there in the past.
And then they also just suddenly found the hotel they were staying at. And they're attacking their own. That's the worst part about this. Now, we're not even doing the Alex Purdy thing. Like, you had the whole thing, they're harassing him. There's one point an ICE officer literally goes up to one of them and goes, do you guys know we're here to pick up a guy who is committed basically sexual assault on a child, and you're blocking our investigation or ability to get him. And funny about enough, Dane's response to stuff like this, he just thinks they're Gestapo and bad, but he also thinks Trump is Hitler. But,
I'm not surprised.
But also when we bring up the fact that you just want criminals in the country, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, if you oppose any way to essentially restore order, then yeah, you want crime. If you oppose punishing criminals, yes, you want crime.
At some point, Sorter, we really need to do something on harm reduction, the harm reduction fallacy.
Yeah, it would be an interesting one.
It's basically a concept that started with drug use, and I swear to God, the left uses it for everything. It's literally they just learned to tolerate it. So we also have protesters start to bring guns. Now, before the Alex Purdy thing happened, I thought it was a guy that they seized, a person with a revolver. He was carrying the gun in like a little hanging bag. He said, "I'll shoot you," and he pointed to the thing. Of course, he was taken down and arrested for having a firearm. That's what he got arrested for. But he also threatened to shoot the officers. But what's the irony is that happened right before the Purdy thing. So I just happened to be watching stuff, chilling on a weekend, and I heard there was another shooting. And that was the Alex Purdy thing. Now, flash forward in hindsight to 2020. So a week prior to him getting shot, he kicked out a taillight of an ICE vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Totally peaceful.
Then this gets better. We've been digging into their phone records. Apparently, they're part of the same group in Minnesota. Plot thickens. He's not so innocent.
Yep.
This is a tip of the iceberg, by the way. We discovered, the Cam guy on Twitter? Sorry, I'm terrible with names. The journalist figured out they've been using Signal to communicate. Alex Purdy was part of that same group, so was Renee Good.
Who would have expected that?
So what are we...
Everyone.
Here's the worst thing about the Alex Purdy shooting. It's very hard to tell if it was justified or unjustified. It was 20 seconds.
It was yes. It was a split moment decision, and it's very easy to make judgments on like, oh, I wouldn't have handled it that way, or this is not the correct way. But if your life is at the line, it's not so easy to make that decision.
Well, the problem with the Alex Purdy shooting was the issue of he had been up there, that you had 20 seconds. And then they found the gun, and then they heard the shooting. They heard gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
This is also after they've been having air horns and other loud noises basically blown in their ear. This is why you don't interfere with them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is why I said this is the perfect storm. That's why you shouldn't have that. That's the problem with it. And because see, he was about a week prior, he was shown basically kicking out the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is he does, and there is a thing. Most people are not defending this. The problem itself is it's so screwed up that you can't really tell because of the issue that it's basically you shouldn't be going to protest with guns, but they're doing it.
Yep. And it's incredibly dumb.
Hold on, I'll give an idea. Sadly, this is what they've been dealing with. You won't hear sound, but I'll describe it. So this is one of these is Alex Purdy. You could kind of tell which one. So you'll hear a lot of these whistles and holding a phone. So ICE can't do their jobs. So he's in the street blowing an air horn and blowing a whistle. So you see here, pepper spray. They find the gun. Now, this is the part that gets really weird. You see that? Yes? Do I explain this? This is the moment. This is the whole video. When I go back, this is why people have been being retarded. Pay attention. He's interfering. Someone goes to shove. Pepper spray. You can't hear that, but there's whistles and there's everything else. Disorientates them. They find the gun on him. The thing is, we need the actual thing. They find the gun, and there's 3 gunshots. And another yells gun, and then he gets shot. Honestly, this is over 20 seconds. Okay? You don't have time to make judgments.
You definitely don't.
People will say he wasn't being violent, but he had a gun in his back waistband. Now, people have looked at it and said if you hold like the slide wrong, it can fire.
Yep. And that had been what was it, like a few months ago, maybe a year? There was a whole thing with, this happens with SIGs.
Well, there's a SIG, it's the SIG 320s. Something like that. There was an Air Force officer who got shot. He just set it on a table. and it went off. There's a YouTube video, and he found a way. They only had 20 seconds to respond when someone heard a gun.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I thought the person who got shot when they found a gun was found on a protester. And sadly, this is how bad this story evolved. Simple. This is the problem we have. These protesters are basically are going. Look, you shouldn't go with guns in a tense situation. When you're blowing whistles, you're disrupting investigations. One got arrested for having a gun in a bag. He basically and this is just, it's creating a problem. Because he had a gun in a bag and he threatened to basically shoot. He was going to shoot the officer. I have to find that story. This is how much that crap basically devolved over the last month. By the way, the Signal story is so big too. Even Dankula covered it.
Yeah.
You know you screwed up then. Oh, and we do think there's a... What's funny is... here. So they've been using Signal, basically. I told someone we're not going to be able to have nice things. Okay? We can't have nice things anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know why we have encrypted apps? Private.
Yep. So other people or entities, whatever, cannot look into what you are sending.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
we're not going to be able to have nice things. And I can find this thing on Cam. There's been an independent journalist that's been exposing this. It's been this has not been good. It's been
the opposite of good. Give me a moment.
You're good. I'll just take this up. Just a second. Thank you. But yes, so they've been using Signal here. Well, a couple of other people got in. He's been exposing this here. I guess that's from the 31st. He gets clocked in the face. And this is in Portland. But this is the Signal app stuff here. Yeah, basically this is the group that they've been using. So, and these groups have basically been, they are organized. This is what's scary. So, the question is, can you get into them? Basically, they share documents. The thing is, in these groups, they form these daily. And basically, they're organizations. And they all have a code. That's how they're organized. The ones that have, like, emojis, they're all leaders. Or they do a purpose. And then they work in shifts. Now, this thing about this, it sounds like a conspiracy theory. But you see, like here, like what this is. This is how they've been doing it. They have a plate checking website. Here. Organized, basically, harassment. Basically, these people organize. Now, if you don't, people who aren't aware, this is actually pretty disturbing. This is the latest reviews. Now, the question here, ultimately, this is in Wake. They're finding out that the Alex Purdy thing is, this is the tip of the iceberg for us. Now, the problem itself is, what does the federal government have? Well, at the beginning of February, there's still protests. They're still trying to clean up and get stuff done. There was a federal injunction that blocked the Trump administration from just sending blanketly National Guard to cities. Now, it's a legit federal order compared to the cases that the states were making, which weren't valid due to, basically, there is no precedent for them to override it. But you can't just deploy National Guard without reason. Again, we can't use the Insurrection Act either. This is the inherent problem. We've been very civil. How are you, Romeo? Yes, Romeo, I've heard about your take on this. I mean, which part? I do have a good take. I don't like protesters doing the thing, Romeo. And I don't think the Alex Purdy thing was a good shooting entirely. but you shouldn't put cops into the sake you're going to do it. Here's the problem. That's a culmination effect. I have the take that the cities need to move out of the way.
Hookie, I'm back.
You're welcome. By the way, see Romeo. The cities need to move out of the way of the federal government. Let them do their job and let them move along. It's that simple.
Essentially, just comply and nothing will go wrong. Well,
if you have
a lot less is going to go wrong.
If you have an issue with the order, go through legal means.
Yeah.
Organizing into violent mobs, harassing people. It's very simple. Because the problem itself is everybody knows in the U.S. don't screw with federal agencies. Any person who grew up in the 90s would have known that.
Well, most of them, at least.
On history, I'll reiterate this. ICE is there to do a job. You're not dealing with... What's funny is I see a lot of liberal people call them Border Patrol.
Yeah.
Dane's a retard, yes. Dane called them Border Patrol. So did Eric Debunks. But, yeah, don't ask. There's these people. ICE just is here to do a job. Leftist protesters are impeding it. This was cute and adorable for a couple of cities. Not when you have 10 states at this point. No, I don't think he was disarmed. Romeo, have you seen that? I played it. They had 20 seconds to react. And by the way, Sorter saw it himself. I replayed that. I can replay it for you because if you go over it, they had 20 seconds to react.
After they hear a gunshot.
No, the gunshot was 0.3 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
After the gun was around. Now, I have seen images that are close-up of that gun. Because it is a SIG and the way he held it, it could have misfired. But leave that to the investigators. Because
either way, it's like a situation where if anyone of us was one of those ICE agents, you have a gun shooting when you were detaining someone who had a gun. What are you going to make of it? And you don't really have that much time, otherwise you might be dead.
You have 20 seconds to basically decide.
Yes, he shouldn't have died, neither, good, but that's why I say that you should not go out of your way to antagonize or fuck with federal agents.
Federal
Even
agents have no chill.
yep.
The problem is, Romeo, how do you separate the bad protesters from the good? There's the problem. You know what's fun fact? There was an organization of about 3,000 to 5,000 people who said they're going to terminally go around the United States. A DC lobbyist group to harass officers. See, Romeo, you don't want the Hydra take, okay? You had the Hydra had to vanish from the internet after that. I'm not being mean, but there's a problem. See, I'll explain this again, Romeo. So this is what the scene. You should not put officers. They're blowing, they're impeding ice. By the way, he kicked out a light a week prior. One person attacks an ICE officer. They go to detain. They're forced to pepper spray. They find a gun. Eventually. They detect. There is 3 gunshots. One of the agents yells gun. And he gets shot. Leave it to investigators. It's clear cut. And if you zoom in, you can find it. He wasn't just killed unlawfully. The problem is it was an agitated shooting. There were 3 gunshots. Now, SIGs are known to have manufacturing issues. Yeah, see, that's the problem, right? It's a SIG.
Yep.
I think there was a video someone saw how it could be fired if you mess with the slide. Which it could have been anything because that's a very unfortunate, right? See, the problem is if you say the gun misfired and there was 3 gunshots, they heard it. They thought he had another gun. It's not like these people go to these protests unarmed. There's your problem. See, this is where I said I'm not going to talk out of my ass because I'm not a gun expert. Charlie talked about this, actually. There's a thing with a slide. See if I could find it. And it has to deal with the way you deal with the slide, basically. So, There's an entire video on it. It has to deal. Basically, it can screw it up. It has to deal with the other. Again, the problem is in the air is if it's a small manufacturing issue, then yes. But also, too, the gun's owners the problem itself is you shouldn't do that. If you misproperly load it, it can actually set it off. See, this is the problem with this. Purdy wasn't exactly innocent. Purdy a week earlier was kicked out a tail light of an ICE vehicle with the same gun in his back underneath his shirt. Okay. He also had injuries in his hand and in his arm from scuffling with officers a week prior or 4 days prior. You heard about that, Sworden?
Hmm?
Did you hear about that?
But what? Sorry, I was distracted for a second there.
He had hand injuries and injuries in his wrist and his lower arm, where he got about 3 or 4 days prior. Got
Oh, yeah.
With a cop, the ICE people.
Yep.
Then a week earlier, he kicked out a taillight. See a pattern? But you also should not be put yourself into that situation with a gun in a tense situation like that. They have 20. That whole scuffle was like 20 seconds.
The eye of him to make him less hygienic. I wouldn't call it that exactly, but less, yeah.
I mean, my favorite is the AI of. I'd say my favorite. It's not that people, if you don't like it, there's a lot of people who I don't say that it's hard to tell if that shooting was justified or unjustified because there's a lot of stuff missing. Because the problem is you shouldn't be blowing grape whistles and air horns and filming and disrupting a scene. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
You wonder why we're having issues. I mean, my problem is what's going to happen in the next city. Look, a lot of this process could go a lot quicker. You have an entire generation, they're wanting to replay the 60s all over, the late 60s all over again. I called this about 3 years ago. I said this was going to what's about to happen. And I wish I was wrong. The problem is what happens when they go to the next city. The same agitators follow. Personally, all Walls had to do is deploy the National Guard to secure the city, tell his Mayor Fry all he had to do was tell his cops to secure the scene. But there's indications in reports that they're not a lot. The cops are avoiding the area like they were in Portland. Now, personally, I am for throwing the book at all of these city officials and government officials. Get them out of office. Sure, Romeo. I didn't see what your thought. I don't disagree. I'm at the point right now with these leftist protesters. You reap what you sow. It's very simple. Comply. 10 states have been in open rebellion or seditious natures because, starting with Newsom in California, Portland, Chicago, they have all the rights to basically prosecute these people to their. I personally think Waltz should be removed from office. If any government officials are found in the signal files, yes, I do think they're left leaning and
Well, not all protesters in general, but specifically those. Yeah.
I think there's a big portion of the violent ones are Antifa and very progressive. They are left leaning. See, Romeo, here's the problem. In Slaughter, you can either disagree or agree with me. Either one.
Mm-hmm.
Position. We're past the point of being civil with these children. They got off scot-free in Black Lives Matter protests. They burned down cities, caused about $2 billion in damage. The Democrats embraced them. Personally, conservatives have been too nice with them. I'm all fine. Protest. Don't bring weapons. Don't disrupt. Don't destroy property. The moment that happens, you need to be dealt with. I live in Texas, Romeo. Okay? We didn't, in Dallas-Fort Worth area, we never had Black Lives Matter get out of hand. Our cities are controlled by Democrats. Do you know why? Because we have people with civility. Not like Minnesota or Los Angeles where they rip up street corners. As soon as you try to rip out a street light, SWAT would be on your ass in 3 seconds.
Yeah, on what you said, I don't know. I think there should be like some, not lenience, but, at the very least, things being done legally.
Do I think a lot of these protesters need to be handled themselves a lot better? Yes. Do I think they need to stop stalking ICE agents? They better be afraid because the federal government is going to come after them. Because we do think we know, I do have a lead on who is one of the lead organizers. It's literally a tech billionaire in China American citizen in Shanghai, China, who has been funding these people. So we also found in signal chats recently, one of the lead funders is a Canadian national, part of the government or part of a section of the government or an activist group. So yes, the federal government needs to step in sooner better than later. But, and by the way, Romeo, you think they're breaking into people's houses without warrants? Provide me one evidence of it. They all have warrants. Romeo, if you have one instance they got into a place without a warrant, show it. Because a lot of this is ICE is not acting without warrants. Because there was a case, one guy tried to say they tried to go into a house when they went to arrest 2 sexual predators. They were supposed to be there. The old man said, "Get out of the way of the door." He got dragged out of his house in his underwear for obstructing, but they had a search warrant. So they detained him, and then after searching the house, let him go. And as far as I know, even Bruce basically said he had a client detained at court. You don't need a warrant for that. You can do it in a courthouse. Did you know that, Sorter?
Yep.
The problem with this is either you're going to basically not let ICE do their job, or you're going to continue to get in their way. And then you're going to force a situation that the government reacts, and then it becomes worse. This is the issue with sanctuary city policy for 10 years. Look, personally, we've been civil with the left for a very long time. We really have. Far too civil. Because I'm going to be very honest, they need to be lucky that the assassination on Trump didn't go off. You better be lucky that the assassination of Charlie Kirk went as peaceful as it did. But unfortunately, we have the after effects of that now. That's shattered the peacefulness of the right. Because here's the problem with the left wing, sort of. Progressives. See, I tell you, Sorter, there's topics we should go into. We're going to have to educate people on Gramsci.
Yeah, it's a bit of a deep dive.
Long story short, you subvert the culture. Because Alexander Gramsci was under Mussolini. He realized you couldn't brute force a culture into change.
And he realized that in prison.
Yep, because he basically came up with the playbook. You needed to move culture slowly as a monolith.
And move it towards like a revolutionary goal, I guess.
Basically, generation by generation. And there's a deeper part to this. It's been used by communists. It's been used by a lot of government officials since the end of World War II. He ultimately got killed by Mussolini.
But his
writings live on.
His writings basically made it out of jail.
Basically.
Yeah. And that's generally the playbook that a lot of Marxists, a lot of
socialists,
revolutionaries have been playing by, and it is to capture institutions and culture in order to normalize and make the revolution more seem more positive to people.
You see, that's the problem. You can't just explain Gramsci without a deep dive. You really can't.
Because then you get into the Frankfurt School stuff, and that's an even deeper one.
So, Romeo, do you agree or disagree that ICE can? Okay. Check this out. I'm sorry, I doubt ABC News. I'm very sorry. And I actually saw you're quoting a memo that was leaked. You're quoting that leaked memo that Legal Eagle tried to say was real. I know about that. It comes from a whistleblower document. You don't know if that's real or not. They got leaked online. I don't buy that as real. Look, I am the person you have to show proof. Not hearsay. Yeah, Legal Eagle is the one that had a video on the leaked ICE memo. It made its way around. See, though, be blessed. Sometimes you don't know who half these people are. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legal Eagle has been very active for a very long time. So I'm just going to show. I can show his channel, and you understand why. Here you go. Devin, aka Legal Eagle. What do you see here? TDS, anti-Trump, anti-conservative.
What I liked was
this shit has been going on so long. I am bro.
Before getting elected, he had a video out before Trump got elected. He had a video out that was like, "Oh, he's not immune. We can get him." And then next video is, "Oh shit, he's immune."
Do you know how many times this dude has been wrong?
I would assume.
Actually, this video he tried to be normal. but he still gets raped. This dude literally quotes Project 2025. You know, the problem with this is, by the way, this is my favorite. Oh God, I would download this one just for shit. Oh, I should. Oh, this is so good. By the way, this is the same guy who, after the Renee Good shooting, he had the angle wrong, that he actually got debunked by the way, like this story right here is a developing story. He just had his rank dropped, by the way. Did he leave his Renee Good? He took down his Renee Good video, didn't he? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got this. By the way, he got this wrong, and this was picked apart even by Nick Rekieta. If Legal Eagle is quoting it, it's probably horseshit. This man has the credibility of basically a Bin Laden. Yes, he did. That's what he did. Oh, you mean Legal? Hold on, I'll go over this. Oh, this is a memo. Yes, it is. Hold on. Yes, that's that memo. Look.
Yep, pretty much.
You might be able to. This was leaked. There are exceptions within the law. Now, in reality, is there a defense? Who knows? Because they can pick up people at courts. See, Romeo, the problem is when you have this quoted, right? To be clear, it is not a search warrant and should only be used to enter a residence and conduct the arrest. See, if you try to do guidelines, they try to serve a warrant and enter without it, you can actually have it. So, and there are exceptions. Because I know he went over this. And to be honest, lawyers do argue over stuff. So basically, if this memo is real and what it is, take it before the people and go over it. Yeah. I have to look into it. But the problem itself is there's a reason. Basically, even Sean says there's exceptions. It's nothing new about it. I hate to say it, but if anybody like Legal Eagle basically goes because, again, Legal Eagle's a special ed. Actually, okay. Here, let's be perfectly honest. Legal Eagle has been around how long now? How old is this champ? 17?
Yeah, sounds about right.
See, he basically, look, Trump committed felonies, blah, 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 blah. Trump's done. He was big this and everything else. I mean, he basically retired. I mean, in reality, he hasn't really posted in over a year, especially since the Trump thing. I mean, I'll look into it, I'll read it, but in reality, there's legality. By the way, Queeman is not the look. I don't want to trust anybody in a random commentary community, especially from the shitheads of the commentary community who don't understand legal. I'm sure you understand that, Romeo. Queeman, yeah. What's Queeman's shit? Queeman's a little guy. He basically talks about Turkey Tom. He needs to talk more about how Turkey Tom is a creep. File that there. Oh god, that's funny, by the way. We lived long enough to see Turkey Tom turned into a fucking lolcow.
Yeah.
God damn. And we thought Turkey Tom was one of the good ones.
I'm not gonna lie, I never liked him.
But look, I'll look it over, but I'll see if Sean talks about it. The problem is you can't enter. If you have an issue with this warrant, take it to court. This is a document you bring to court, and then you take it over. Because it says you do not have the right to enter without a warrant. But there are exceptions. See, everyone forgets back here. There are exceptions. This is just like the people quoting a memo from a training document. I've heard Queeman takes from, I don't look. I have my thing. If I've never seen someone in a political streamer, here's a funny thing, Romeo. Solder can back me on this. I don't consider Freeman a political streamer. I don't consider Chud Logic a political streamer.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. Well, Chud Logic, I would definitely call a drama farm channel because he says that he is that.
Queeman, I wouldn't say he is one either. He's a drama channel too. Stick to commentary drama. Burn yourselves down. When I think of political channels, I go to political channels. When I go to lawyer channels, I go to law channels. And the thing about the ICE memo, if it is existing, they do have ways to do it. I don't want to talk to Queeman. Look, I don't care about Queeman. Quite honestly, I just don't. It's something I'm wrong. He's a drama streamer. Like, what happens if I search his channel? Uh-huh. Do you see Soldier? I'm not mean. What do you see?
I mean, yeah.
Drama.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's not banned. He only has a temp ban because he used the bad word for people with tiny hats. Oh, it's a Miskiff drama. I don't care. Oh no, it's a Tectone drama. I found this interesting, but I wouldn't go into it.
What is that about Oko?
I don't know. I stay out of this sector of the internet.
Yeah. Me too, mostly.
Personally, I have my own gripes. This is why I don't say people. They go, "Oh, I'm a political streamer." No, this dude basically is a drama streamer, and if he tries to talk politics, he's probably an idiot on the subject. I'm just saying.
Mama Oko DM'd Queeman like a schizophrenic.
I don't know. Apparently, Mama Oko popped into the stream.
Oko is generally kind of weird. Let's leave it at that.
No, apparently, it's funny. I saw Mama Oko pop up into the when legal mindset was going into the Tectone documents of the case recently. See, that's the problem. See, when I look at political streamers, I usually watch political streamers. You know what I mean?
Yep. And to be honest, streaming is not the best way to do politics analysis, whatever, because it's live and it's kind of hard to do. It's generally hard to do the research. Either you have to have it prepared and then just present it, which can be done.
Or you just watch it autistically and have to figure it out.
Yeah.
I kind of stick to my corners, though. So basically, right, if you look at a stream, Asmongold is a normie whisperer. He's just the one everyone gets opinions from. Actually, here, great channel. I recommend it. You might find cringe, but it's informative. By the way, very good episode right here. May I recommend? You don't watch Broken Crown, do you?
I've heard of him. I haven't. No, I think I might have watched a couple of his videos, but not like.
So, it's run by Aiden Paladin. There's also.
Oh, right. Yeah. Is that one? Yeah.
Uzulu appears. By the way, this is a really good stream right here.
I confused the channel for something else.
She, because you remember she's a trained psychologist, right? Yes?
Yeah.
This goes into the toxic empathy at the left. She is a monarchist, though.
She's a lot of things, being honest, but yeah.
You know what, though? At least I don't confuse. Look, I have a wide array of political channels in my lineups, okay? There's Bill O'Reilly. Lotus Eaters is here. I got my daily dose of leftoidism. Please avoid this channel unless you want to have brain tumors. Okay? If you know who actual fandom is, and I got your buddy, Dev's best friend.
Dev's gay lover.
Actually, I have been subbed to him for years upon years.
Years?
Yes. I've been subbed to him for a very long time.
Like, I know he used to do gaming stuff back in the old days.
Always done political stuff. See, okay, this is Aiden Paladin's main channel where she puts out her essays.
Yeah.
But then Broken Crown is where she does her political stuff. See, largely a lot of my political stuff. See, by the way, this is the guy earlier I was saying that before we touch upon Don Lemon getting charged.
Yeah.
So basically, the Minneapolis shooting, when he talked about it, this was about 2 about 2 blocks from his house. By the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll touch on the God Lemon story, but when I think a lot of political streamers, I will go to political streamers. I have a wide array of opinions. Some are more valid than others. See, if I need legal, I come here. Or I go to Law2. So, a lot of stuff I do. Then other people I keep around for just simple drama or not. Right. But where I come from on the side of the internet, Arch, Sargon, and V. See, that's Sargon's original videos. And see, I wouldn't torture people if you want to. I've been subbed to this man for a great many years, too. If you know who he is. No? My YouTube reads like old channels. Basically, you can tell I get a wide variety of opinions.
YouTube channels, I'm mostly sub to like either older gaming channels, or politics stuff. Oh, and car stuff, because
You know what? Yeah, this is the thing. God bless this man. I am only subbed to him because I need my daily reminder of stated idiots. The man can't get the trucker video out, but he can do this and he can do this. Just saying. But I spend most of my time on normal channels where I try to learn. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't like my brain dead. I don't like brain dead political takes. I like deep takes.
Also, I don't. Yeah. How would you describe it? It's like bait is also pretty bad.
See, honestly, I've watched him since he was on CNN. See, I have different channels for different things, basically. I have my 40K channels. I have my other ones when you want your normal opinions. And I got my other leftist that loves everything. He tries to steel man everything. Dear friend. You know what I mean? I've been subbed to these channels so long, most of the time you wouldn't even know. So when you talk about political stuff, like Weeman, most of my political takes, if you ever look at the... I actually recently discovered that Robert Reich had a channel. Sadly, I don't like the looks of what has become of him. If you know who this man is...
Yeah.
He's gone. By the way, he tried to have the coffee thing where his panel actually called Renee Good a sweet, innocent mother. I couldn't make it. Yeah. I'm just telling you, it's not good. But then again, he's a self-admitted progressive, though.
Mm-hmm.
See, you need to understand. See, he has base moments like this. Then he has other bad takes like this. Okay. This doesn't work. But again, he's an aging progressive, though. See, there's a difference between his kind of civil disobedience and protests. Look, Dane turned me on to this person. So,
What the fuck? Why the thumbnails leftist memes? But do you need so much text? It's a thumbnail.
I'm too lazy for thumbnails. You know what? I'm just telling you. Do you know there's a big person who likes him? They like this person. Oh, I actually had this person try to justify a shooting. I have a video saved for this person. I got highly recommended this channel by this channel. Need I say more? Look, I need my daily dose of leftoid retardation once in a while. I know it's me. But some people deserve it. Oh, he brings up the Somali person who sent all the people to daycare. That on the 7th was the records were stolen from the daycare. All the vital identification documents.
Yeah.
I
It was a funny coincidence.
I showed that to a friend. Apparently, they knew to steal the checks out of the checkbook too. Sure, I will check it. Yes. It didn't kill me. That's these people. See, this is the problem. So what's funny in these ICE raids, which is sad. Okay, let me say this: the ICE raids. Are there innocent people who are going to get swept up? Yes. Are they hitting about 95% of their targets? Yes. Glenn Beck said something this morning, or said it in a video recently, and he's reiterated it. I'll reiterate it for people because I recommend people watch them. See, the red light in America is the time when we can't. So two things can be correct at once. You know what that means, Sorter?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
There are situations where stuff that might seem like they are opposing, like ideas or results, can't both be true at the same time. As in, like, ICE can both be, maybe having some faults with it, or like doing some stuff that maybe they should chill out, whatever you want to say, call it. And that also that leftists or, the anti-ICE protesters are also going way overboard and putting themselves in danger and getting themselves shot.
Mm-hmm. So what's funny about this is he also includes the merit. Two sides can be, there can be two, both sides can be correct. I'll get to that in a second, Romeo. See, here's the thing. When I say both, two problems can be correct, but this works in a civilized country with understanding. The problem is in parts of the country and on matters we do not have this kind of understanding. Does that make sense? See, it's a great video and I would recommend it to people. See, Glenn Beck sounds weird, but here, look at it. I recommend to you. It's this recent video right here. This one. This one. It's common sense. So, most people agree two things can be correct at the same time. And by the way, if you get illegally detained by ICE, you have the right to sue. You do. I mean, to be honest, let the court systems figure that out. They're not going to deport Native Americans. The problem is they're going to find out they're natives and they're just going to let them out. They probably got swept up and they got detained. A bunch of people get detained and then let go if the targets aren't there. They don't tell you that when ICE goes in. I have to re-download them. I'd have to download them as well, but I'm not saying they're wrong, but I gapping up today. I'll check it over. Whoop-de-doo. I don't believe a radical telling shit on the street. Sorry. Plus, with all the dude behind him with the fuck ice, yeah, no, you're standing with anti-ice protesters. Your validity is ass. Take it to court. Don't make claims to the news. Take it to the courts. Romeo, there's a point I'm civil. I'm losing my civility with leftist protesters. I know when they're liars. I don't trust half of them. Sorter can probably understand why. Tolerance is gone.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that is true.
We're losing tolerance. See, it brings me to the other part. Do you know what happened recently? You heard about the shooting where they went into the church?
Ah, yes, Don Lemon.
Don Lemon and it says about 6 other journalists got charged. Now, this is where I'm a little iffy on. More than the other shooting. Because did Don Lemon cooperate with them? Or did he... Was he complicit? Is it an uphill trial to prove he was complicit? Yes. Does he have freedom of the press? Yes. But why did he go into the church?
For the same reason that, there were people that were harassing people that were going to church. Like, had you seen those videos?
Well, I also saw the guy that had the fuck Trump hat, too. That one was making his rounds on Twitter.
Yeah.
The problem itself right now is civility. That I think I also heard about the tribal people were later released as well. I would rather see the updated story on that because O'Reilly talked about it. That's a situation that will resolve itself. But everyone knows ICE raids will sweep up a lot of people. But here's the thing with that thing going into the church, that story. So, what do you make out of that, Sorter?
I mean, there wasn't really a good reason for them to go in the church and protest. It was definitely fucking, I'm not gonna call it dumb, but it was at the very least provoking towards the people that were just attending mass. When they were, the protesters was like, "Oh, ICE bad, Trump bad."
And
how can you not be mad?
What's funny is you know what they got charged with? Disrupting a church service.
Yeah.
Which you don't think is a crime. It's a real charge. But there were journalists arrested as well. Now, do I think Now, Don Lemon is an interesting person who was fired from his job for sexual allegations, of course. He didn't say that publicly, but we kind of guessed it. It's like Bill O'Reilly. The thing about it is, he says journalism is not a crime. Okay, if you said you're documenting it, but he went into a church to disrupt it.
Yes, and provoke.
Yes, and there is statutes against disrupting a religious ceremony. So now that's going to play out in court. I would say he's like he wasn't there. He basically said, I would like you to find the other one, the actual where he was. If he says he was there, the whole video, um, First Amendment right of assembly and the right of religious thing. If you were and you were part of this, were part of it, that's when you're playing with laws. It's not fun. You don't want to mess with that. I mean, granted, let it play. It's going to have to play itself out in court. He can go, I'm just a journalist and I was doing whatever. Right, because
Yep.
freedom of speech. But you also can't disrupt that, though. Now, he was arrested along with, I think, 6 others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they immediately took to basically and said, they said they were basically doing that. Now I'll show you this. This is the indictment. You can kind of read over it if you want, because this was a very quick indictment. In the service, the church were then exercising First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place, at the right to be protected by statute, certified Title 18, United States Code 248. After the service commenced, a group of about 20 to 40 agitators, including all the defendants named in the indictment, entered the church and coordinated a takeover attack and engaged in acts of oppression, intimidation, threats, interference, physical obstruction, and alleged tyranny. As a result of the defendant's conduct, the pastor and congregation were forced to terminate the church service. Congregants fled the church out of fear for their safety. Other congregants took steps to implement an emergency plan, and young children were left to wonder, as one child put it, if their parents were going to die. Conspiracy against rights of religious place of worship. Object of conspiracy. See, this is the actual indictment. You can kind of read it yourself. Beginning of it, these are the other ones. Lemon's here. injure, oppress, intimidate multiple officials, including clergy staff. Now let's assume, right? Armstrong and Alex, together with other persons of the unknown, organized by the targets, met at a shopping center for a pre-op briefing. Now, this is just the charges. Doesn't mean he did it. Armstrong and Allen advised the co-conspirators, including defendants Kelly, Lemon, Richardson, Letty, and Cruz, Ford, and Austin, about the target of their operation, i.e., City's church. Provided instructions how the operation would be conducted once they arrived at the church. Once at the church, all defendants entered the area to conduct a takeover style attack. Furthermore, furtherance of the conspiracy. What do you make out of this?
I mean, not more than I already knew, but yeah. It's a.
That first part.
What do you mean?
He's saying, so they're saying it's about the meetup. Okay, you gotta prove it. Now
They're saying what? Say it again?
See, they're alleging
Yep.
that. Now they're saying that they disrupted it. And they also said they played a part. Now, they said they met at a shopping center and these agreed. Now, these are allegations. If they hint on it, they'll skate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're saying with the conspiracy, they were just there. And then there's this as evidence. On the 17th of 26th, defendant Armstrong posted a flyer on two Instagram accounts controlled by her at Ethnimical and Racial Justice MN, advertising anti-ICE Operation Pull-Up. Now, clearly, you get some of these defendants. You may not be able to get Don Lemon. I mean, I can see how they roped him in. Telling his fellow to prepare for the operation. Now, see, largely it's Armstrong and Allen they have. At the pre-operation meeting, defendants Armstrong and Allen advised co-conspirators, including Kelly, Lemon, and Letty and Cruz, and Austin, about the target. This is just reiterating. On the morning of January 18th, defendant Lemon began live streaming on his internet-based show, The Young Lemon Show, where he explained to his audience he was in Minnesota with an organization that was gearing up for a resistance operation against the federal government's immigration policies, and took steps to maintain operational secrecy by reminding certain co-conspirators to not participate in the target of the operation, and stepped away momentarily so his mic would not accidentally divulge portions of the planning session. During the session with Armstrong, defendant Lemon thanked defendant Armstrong for saying that she was doing and assured her he was not saying what was going on. Now, this is implying that Don Lemon, well, he's being indicted as a co-conspirator, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, considering he was live streaming the thing, it would be relatively obvious that he had a somewhat active part in it.
It has to deal with an active role.
Yeah.
Basically, he followed this group to the church. This is what's not looking good for him.
Yeah.
Now, if he gets convicted of this, while in the church, Lundy personally participated. Austin stood with the others. But they're saying Lemon and others filmed it. See, this is the part that's weird, right? With other co-conspirators standing near, Dependents Lemon, Richardson, and Ford approached the pastor, largely surrounded him to his front. Why would a reporter reporting on this be crowding the pastor?
Yeah, because he wasn't reporting on it. He was part of it.
Yep. Cap 2, all defendants. Injure, intimidate, interfere with exercise of religious services freedom at a place of worship. See, this is going to be interesting, but a lot of this depends. He may be able to skate on this, though. But it's going to be really interesting if he tries to claim the other. But my whole thing, though, is are we at the point that we suspect Lemon of being pious?
Of being pious?
Do we think he actively played a part or he went along?
I mean, I specifically would say, yeah.
What do you say?
He definitely was an active part.
Did he participate? Do you think he participated or no?
Well, the intention was to stream their protest, let's say, inside the church. Their protest.
You would say if you marched with him, right? It makes him suspect.
Yeah.
You can't claim journalistic reviewing, right, if you were participating.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see if I can find the actual video for his. I wonder if he still has it up or he took it down.
If you can't find it, I might have it on Twitter saved.
You might, yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff that I will regularly just save just for, yeah.
See if you can find it, because I have seen parts of it. It may not be around. See, that's one of those things he maybe deleted it. He didn't live stream it. Does he have? But that does beg the question, though. See, along with 6 others are charged. Now, it's a stretch to see, did he actually enter the church willingly, or was he just part? There's actually the ability of journalistic freedom. Now, his big deal, now I'm not going to look at it. The problem itself is I want to see, I mean, the court case can go either way. Now, if he's just a journalist,
Okay, nope, I can't find it.
I'll have to dig it up.
I guess I didn't save it. That's my bad.
You should have probably saved it.
God, if I would save every single fucking thing that is actually kind of that I might use later, which I almost do, but I almost.
Almost.
There are a couple of stuff and I'm like, more just I forget to bookmark at the time. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure I bookmarked it. Nope. Yeah, damn it.
Now, I mean, you can blame Megyn Kelly, but I will say this: if hold on a second, get her. So she's saying her evidence is he was there, like subscribes. But shouldn't you know? Shouldn't you know you shouldn't disrupt a church service? He turned this into a media scene. You see?
Yeah.
This doesn't look good. In the place he. Well, that's why he's being indicted as a co-conspirator.
Because he obviously was.
Because the court documents say it. Did you disrupt and did you intend to interfere? See, this is why he got indicted.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if he was smart about this. You can't claim naivety.
If he was smart, he would have been intentionally less involved
Right.
from the get-go. But he did not do that.
Did he not think this was illegal?
He might have. He might have not thought it was illegal.
That's why he got charged.
I mean, you kind of have to remember that these people hate
God.
Christianity.
So he waited for them to get in. Why would you crash a church?
Yeah, that is also a question. Like, what was the point? There's you can protest in the street, but what is protesting inside of a church during when it is going on?
See,
like,
she's doing this for a religious person. But the problem is you and your producer both showed you did. He went there with a plan. Now, I thought it was interesting. Oh, God. Oh, God. Is that not cringe? Sorter, is that not cringe?
Which one?
Trauma is part of the process.
I could make a really fucking edgy joke there. I'm not gonna make that.
Well, are we going to apply the trauma he implied to his staff at CNN that got him fired?
I don't know, man.
It was allegations, all right? If he really said trauma was part of the process. Being disturbed is a part of First Amendment right to disturb you. If he really said that, he's done. Right? But that's what the leftists would say.
Yep.
But you have to prove the conspiracy.
Yeah, you obviously do. But
So
we'll
he
see.
knew. This is a definition of fuck around and find out, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
According to one of them, their pastors was ICE. So it gives you right to disrupt the entire church service.
Yeah. Don't think that's how it works, somehow.
You could have played this smarter.
He could have, but I think he's shown at this point that he's not exactly that smart.
I wish I could make this up. Traumatizing parents and their children is protesting.
You mean it isn't? Wow.
So one broke her arm trying to leave the church. Yeah, you're screwed. If this goes through, he briefly resisted arrest at a Grammy function. Oh, God. Let me save this for later. See, I knew some of these details. Well, you could argue to say Megyn Kelly's very conservative and wouldn't want anything done limited to be successful, right?
Yep.
I love conservative networks for this shit. Ugh. Do you understand? This is the sign of always a liberal, like a conservative channel. If they shield gold or silver.
Yeah.
No idea. It's been a meme for years. It's true, though. They all do it. Imagine this.
Yeah, one way or another.
Oh no, that's an hour. Oh, he broke down into this fully autistically. Oh, hold on. Oh, he went over all of this. He actually said this. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
They have so many white people, white allies here. Okay, so when can we just say the left is memes itself, please?
I mean, this has been true for a while now.
What?
What you said.
See, this is the guy. He has the other. See, funny part about him, he lives about 2 to 3 blocks. Why is this an interview question? I might have to download this and just have this for later. So here, threaten, yeah. See, this is the actual legal statute. You can find this. Bruce, you see why I like this channel, don't you?
Yeah.
He's, you can tell I just grew up on like full like law tube. Like, he basically goes through all of it. See, here's going to be the thing about it, right? Yeah. You know what I'm going to say and be honest. The funniest part, what have we learned about Minnesota? Just these people need to stop being stupid, right? Just
Yeah. Very much.
being dumb. Look, there's a right way to protest, right? But
And that is not it.
when you literally have a liberal lawyer against you, you've messed up. He's not quite legal, right? But he's a criminal defense attorney. Hell, he actually told a story up there in Minnesota. ICE came and arrested his client, then he got his client out. It was a nothing burger, and he even stayed in the U.S. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's called the court. Let the court play out. And I mean, the Purdy thing let the federal grand jury play out. The problem is, this actually halted a lot of the Somali fraud case. It just happens to be a lot of the fraud with Somalis. Okay.
Yeah, they're like kind of worse than the Indians in that part.
See, here's the problem. They don't know what civil disobedience is. I mean, I think you should be smart enough not to screw with a school or a church.
Or, antagonize or an ICE agent.
That could just be lack of survival instinct, though. See,
Yeah, a lot of that is is a lack of survival instinct.
what I
They
mean by
don't really realize how deeply in trouble they are until it is too late.
no, I have a theory on this. But
Okay.
this is crap. Ouch. But anyways, the thing about I'll watch the things Romeo sent later, but I needed to get the part with the Don Lemon because the Don Lemon part's kind of crazy into itself. But you know what I think a lot of these protesters have? They believe in a principle, and then one of them's gonna fuck around and find out. I mean, it's kind of like you have the ability to protest. No one ever says you don't. Civil disobedience is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Legal Eagles team says he was arrested for reporting on the church, right? But I showed the legal document. He was arrested on conspiracy as part of the protest. Yes. Here. This is funny. Oh yeah, by the way, if you ever look these people up, you'll be shocked.
I am sure that it will.
See, remember you've seen the document, right? Wow, they didn't even bookmark it. Makes me feel bad for myself. So, do you notice how they frame it as Legal Eagles people? He's just innocent. He had no idea.
Yeah.
You see why he
Which,
did it? That's not the. That's not an own. By the way, this woman is very, very super far liberal.
I wouldn't have guessed.
By the way, this woman's a trip, by the way. Do you remember that thing I told you was the guy who was brought out in his underwear?
Yep.
He was later freed, by the way.
I do love all these people that think that the Bible basically argues for open borders and a mass immigration and all that shit. It's like, no, it doesn't. The whole like, oh, you can't be a pastor and also be someone who's anti-immigration or is responsible for the IS rate. It's like, why? Why not?
Because you have the right to freely gather. Sometimes I feel these people try to do the defense argument, but they like to contradict themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that rare, I'd assume. Especially in cases that are, actually, that they actually have to essentially lie.
People ask how I know liberals. What usually gives you a hint a person's a very crazy loon? The eyes.
The hand gestures also. She has those. She's
She
doing the
has
whole.
ear eyes. The too much whites in her eyes. Yes, this is true. Do you know that prosecutor that they tried to do? You know that prosecutor?
Yeah.
The thing is, there was not enough evidence to prove she did an unlawful mortgage. Live with
Mm-hmm.
it. Trump doesn't care. He tried. I mean, if you have a flimsy case and a judge throws it out, I mean, I'm going to be honest, the case against Lemon looks pretty solid, especially if text messages come out. But see, you see why what I said earlier about his defense of the Renee Good case shooting looks stupid?
Yep.
Because I don't think these people write their own statements. By the way, she is a crazy person. There's a story on this one. Because look, if you have the prosecutions, what's funny about this one, there's a touchstone. Prosecutions. But see, see, here's the problem with Liz Dye. Liz Dye, right? By the way, he was the one really funny. Did you know Legal was the one who came up with the actual defense on why Captain Marvel could have like beat the shit out of the guy for like
Yeah.
saying
Yeah. I remember. uh, yeah. He's fucking.
yes, he did. I missed that Legal. So he went judge shopping, right? Is this a claim? See, I'm fair. Oh yeah, that's the guy with the fuck Trump hat. I love this, by the way. Sure. I'll wait. Okay. Fair. You see how there's legal proceedings for this? So basically, you have it.
God, no. She,
She's a trip, by the way.
I can't hear her, but I
And you
bet she
don't
sounds insufferable.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
She sounds insufferable.
because like from her gestures and the way
Oh,
she talks, it's like, oh God, she's one of those like, actually, let's unpack this.
would you want to take a bet about that one? Bruce Ray, God. Look. I should say while I'm here. I mean,
Oh, by the way, I will have to go in a couple of minutes.
yes. Okay, I'll probably do that. My favorite though is my favorite is this one though.
Broke me.
This look. This man looks broken.
Where the fuck is he?
You have never known who this guy is?
Did he shoot this at his like fucking holiday?
No, I don't know. Sorry.
this is almost comedic.
It looks terrible.
He could have gone a step further and just like been on a been out tanning on the beach on some fucking tropical island, saying, "Oh my God, this broke me," sipping on a fucking cocktail or whatever the fuck.
Yes, there's a reason. You mean this to high hell, by the way. Okay.
Hmm?
You'd mean that's a high hell, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, let me show you. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. There it is.
Donald Trump Justice Department will do a whole lot to protect freedom of religion.
We are going to protect houses of worship. We're coming out.
It's tasteful, but it's important to remember that the
Does she
Constitution
sound like
protects
how you
a
think
lot
she
of
sounds?
distasteful and unpleasant speech, like flag burning. Just
Yep,
because it's rude
pretty much.
doesn't mean it's illegal. Lemon rode with the protesters and his producer to City's Church in St. Paul, a Southern Baptist congregation whose leadership includes Pastor David Easterwood. But that is not his day job.
Yep.
My name is David Easterwood. I'm the acting field office director.
Likely to appear in court, neither of which applied here, so Judge Micco ordered them to be released. At which point, the DOJ demanded immediate review by a U.S. district judge. Essentially, they asked to speak to the manager, but they did it in a sealed filing because they didn't want anyone to see what they were up to. I believe the technical term here is weak shit, or as Ken White, a.k.a. Pope Hat,
what kind of language is that, by the way?
AUSA is advancing this argument should face professional and social
Say it again. Actually, pause the video and say it.
Stooges.
Because I can barely hear you over it.
Are clearly planning to flee.
What kind of body language is this? Is she a teenager?
No, it's the overeducated,
It's that
overeducated leftist woman that thinks that she knows everything and thinks that everything is sexist, everything is racist, and you have to point it all out. I forgot the homophobic.
Yes. Hold on, before you do go.
It's the Anita Sarkeesian.
Okay, I'm sure this is funny. Did I move it?
I know all of us have seen the videos of what is basically the execution of Alex Preddy.
He wrote this and he shot this.
More angles and more times than I care to repeat. I'm not going to give an in-depth frame-by-frame analysis. You don't need a lawyer to tell you what you can see with your own eyes, which is that it was an inexcusable state-sanctioned murder. There is no excuse. There is no justification. And
you know what? I respect his position.
The latest in what is probably a long line. This one happens to have been videotaped, thankfully.
He's actually
by
broken.
Many, brave bystanders. As you can tell, I'm not in my studio. I was on a plane yesterday. Oh God, it's cold out here. It's 0 degrees, which is still 10 degrees warmer than it is in Minneapolis right now. But in some sense, I do this for a living. I analyze the videos that are out there and think about things from a legal perspective. And
you didn't know
I saw the first video when it came out. It was pretty clear.
Or did you?
But with any video taken from across the street, there's some ambiguity. And but I think the second video came out. In the second video, you can hear
He's actually crying.
Alex
in
Preddy's
0
last words
degree
were,
weather.
"Are you okay?"
Wouldn't crying it when it's so cold be kind of dangerous?
That was next to him, who had been pushed down by the ICE or CBP officer who was acting unhinged, where Alex Preddy just has his phone out and his left arm is...
Anyway, I do gotta go now.
Last words, and I think...
You know what? We'll have to one day. I'll have to hit you up. We'll have to go hit some of the more political. I think we really do need to break into Gramsci and something else.
Yeah, maybe like a more prepared show, like have sources and all.
Do the
that stuff.
prepared and then because I think it is time we expose others to our side of the internet. It's not that we are correct. It's not that I make fun of people like Liz Dye or him. That dude, he looks like a crying king doll. But yeah, Sorter, you should be freer. By the way, dude, if you binge watch Fallout, we can review Fallout, sir.
Oh God, I don't want to watch this show.
No,
I really don't.
You know what? You know what? I will say this: I did consider hate reviewing Starfleet Academy, but I refuse.
Yeah, good.
That show is beyond. It's like watching Az review Batwoman. or Disparu do it, because thank you for sacrificing yourself for that hill so I don't have to.
Yeah.
No Starfleet Academy is that bad.
Yeah, I've seen like a clips of it.
Every reviewer,
it's pretty bad.
Everybody, but yes, Fallout's a good show though. It's not terrible. But yes, we'll have to get more. Just hit me up. We'll plan something and do it.
Mm-hmm.
We may have. I will have to prepare something like Graham Sheaf for beginners.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. Like, you may have to find a way to do the Arch explanation or the. You can't do the Sargon explanation. But I will say, though, I do have Neo 3 on the 5th. I already have it. I have to. Other than that, I think. I'll play it by ear. It's a brand new month. But I'm not done. I'm not done with Minneapolis stuff, dude. It's still going on. The John Lemon stuff, because that's why I showed the indictment first. She totally misrepresents it, by the way. Because, but I will say this: if I had to go, see, people, please understand. Legal, you can want to charge people. It's like Trump has tried to charge the prosecutors who came after him because they did have criminal, like, corruption attached to those cases, but they couldn't prove anything. That's how, because they try to get the one in New York on this weird charge of she did mortgage fraud. Okay. Good luck to you. But anyways, though, sorter, it is late for you, and I'm going to lay down.
Okay, man. We'll talk later.
We will have to figure out a way, just brainstorm to get like Gramsci. I didn't mean to disrespect Romeo's. I just needed to get to the Don Lemon stuff. I don't care. No offense, it's the main stuff we had to get to. The 3 main, that was the key. Ugh. It's not a simple matter. It's been a long month.
Yeah.
And you wonder why people have fatigue over Minneapolis. Till then, I have that. I wouldn't subject you to, like, but we'll figure it out. We'll have to either figure out some topics. Just, yeah, it's interesting, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I said I would stream tonight, but I don't feel well enough.
Go get some rest, man, and hope you feel better.
It's okay. I mean, I've been grinding and doing so. But I have Noia 3, though. I'm actually was looking forward to that. I was going to get Code Vein 2, but I want to play through Code Vein 1 first. And by the way, gaming is going to be... We'll figure out topics. You should have a freer schedule.
Yeah. I mean, I might also get more busy in like a couple of weeks or so. But until then, should be pretty...
But look, I understand why people aren't trying to touch Minneapolis. Arch said it's just an insurrection. The problem is Arch is kind of a statist or a strong government. The problem is there's not enough to do the Insurrection Act, but there's enough to charge for maybe God, I can't think of it. Blocking justice.
Obstruction.
Obstruction, yes.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. I mean, I'm at the point of I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Get rid of you.
yeah.
If you're doing something like God, it's not that I am. I might be a Republican that lives in Texas, but do understand. Because supposedly the Democrats got like a 30-point lead suddenly in Texas, and they think they can take Texas. Good luck to you.
Yeah, okay.
But that'll be it for us. I'll be game stream tomorrow. I'm too tired today. I'd have to rest. I don't know. I've been streaming in Genshin. I got the new character coming out.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I actually caught up there, so I will catch people later. And Romeo, I will catch the video later. I just need to go through. I had a format I was doing. I mean, I know of the Native American people being done, but it's side. It's not like I don't know memos. It's just I try to go for relevant to talk about. Yeah. Anyways, I will catch people. I would say if I do stream, I'll probably stream tomorrow. It won't be today. So,
Yeah. Good night, man. We'll talk and go get some rest.
Yeah, people that. I'll try to chapter this. Until then, I'll be probably stream tomorrow on Wednesday. No, unless I had to watch Fallout. Oh yeah, later this week I'll have 7 and 8's review of Fallout, which will be the finale. So that's the only other thing I got this week, by the way. I should have did 7 last week, but I was going to combine 7 and 8. Basically. Yeah, because the finale is this week of Fallout. Yes, if I sound tired, it's a combination. I've not slept well and do things. But I'll revisit this topic later on. The person will do it. But I had a very horrendous migraine this morning. Personal problem, so I am going to lay down. Till then. We'll catch people later. Yes, but on the 5th, which will be in 3 days, Noia 3 full playthrough, and then Fallout episode 7 and 8 reviews I'll have to work in this week. So, till then. I need to go lay down because I either had a migraine this morning. And apparently it's come back. So, yep. Call that fun. So, always pleasant. Catch people till, tomorrow at 6 p.m. I always stream games Mondays, Tuesdays, probably Thursdays. See, unless I have that stream with multi is supposed to do something. So, yeah, people bits. But I usually stream games and do politics where I do both.